Woo Nelly, what a crazy day it was yesterday, what a dump, and you're not going to believe what happened to me yesterday. Let me quickly explain before I go into the trading setups. I woke up yesterday, I saw this curvature here on the 5 minute and I thought, ooh man, this is a dump if I've ever seen one. So I entered a short from my phone, I was still half asleep. And then not much later we had this dump. I wanted to close out the trade to see how I did, so I wanted to run to the computer, close out the trade and to check the results, and then suddenly I saw that by accident I opened up the trade based on USDT, so 1:1 to the dollar, which usually I trade USD perpetual contracts where 1 equals 100. So I have 1/100 of the normal position size that I have usually. So I thought I had a massive profit, but it was 100 times as less as what I usually have. So that was a huge bummer because I thought I just made my entire weekly goal there. So that was really sucked. Then we had some sideways movement here for Bitcoin, and eventually we rolled over again. I did not participate in that, but then we had a move up. It was from a level, but I had no confirmation on my chart to take the trade. And then eventually we chilled out here a little bit at the point of control. Let me just put that in. Actually, matter of fact, let me quickly take this out as well. It's getting a bit ugly. So then we had that point of control, but the price stayed there for a pretty long time. That is not my kind of trade. If I see that price is hitting the point of control, I would like to see that we're getting a move relatively fast within the next 1 to 5 minutes, and this stayed there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how you look at it. So that was a little bit too long for me, and it was also in the middle of the trading session, so not during New York. Not really my favorite trade, but of course you were able to take it, put your stop loss here above the high, trade it to the downside, but like I said, I did not participate. Then afterwards we had the bounce from here. Also here I did not take the trade, and that was also for a very valid reason, at least in my opinion, and that is that we did not get a very good bounce off that golden pocket. And then, as you can see, we had a small bounce from the 78.6, then we lost it, we reclaimed it, and then I saw, it looked like we're going to lose it again. So I was actually really anticipating to take another dump, to take this low out, and then to go higher. So I was actually waiting for that SFP. And also, if we are starting to close candles underneath that 78.6, like we're doing right here, and a few 5-minute candles, I'm not so interested in trading anymore, because I have seen this a lot of times, and more often than not, eventually you see that breakthrough, that eventually price is breaking, getting a bit of a spike. So you really want to see then a nice candle stick, and then eventually we're going high. So I was actually really waiting for that. And also on top of that, this was right at New York Open. Here, this candle is New York Open. So I do not like opening up trades just before, at, or after New York Open. Those really 5 to 10 minutes before and after, not really liking it, and especially because we had such a big dump yesterday. Anything can happen. I was like, all right, either we are going to dump down on New York Open, the stock market's going lower, we're going to have circuit breakers, they're going to halt the trading, or we're going to recover and then eventually we see a move to the upside. But since we're not hitting the exact levels, because this also looks pretty bad, and it looked like we were losing 78.6 and we had New York Open, I was like, you know what, leave it. I will try to take another trade. Of course, 2020 hindsight, I regret it a little bit because, it was a very nice move, 11-10%, so congratulations if you took the trade. However, I did take this short right here, back up to the VWAP, and I cashed out there. So it's eventually still a green day, but man oh man, that was it was not easy. I think also a lot of people got wrecked. And there was just so much going on, and especially when Bitcoin is moving so much up and down, and the price actually is really good for scalping. So if you're a professional trader, then there were actually a lot of trades to be made. Okay, before I'm giving you the trading setups, I quickly want to zoom out here on the daily. As you can see, we got that bounce at and around from that area where I was already talking about for a long time. The area that I was expecting to visit when we were trading here, but now eventually we got it. We overshot it just a little bit here, but eventually we got that bounce. So we cleared a lot of levels that were still waiting to get hit. Yesterday when we went up that 10%, thought, oh man, this actually looks pretty good. Imagine if the daily candle ends in the green, that actually would be very, very strong. And then you can see new all-time highs in no time. Not my preferred scenario because you're getting this kind of crazy V shape on a daily. You don't really want to see that. I like to see a bit more structure like this. That is much healthier than getting a very big spike up and down in a few daily candles. So I'm actually happy the way it played out. Also, mind you, here you can see on the daily for Mark Cipher B that yeah, it still looks pretty bad. Money flow is still pouring out. VWAP is slowly rolling over. 1 or 2 more days and we're printing a green dot. Doesn't mean green lights go, we're going up, but it is at least the first relief. If we're looking at the 2-day just for market Cipher B, it still looks bad. Momentum wave pretty much down. Money flow is pouring out. VWAP flat, RSI lower. If you think that was bad, then look at the 3-day. This actually looks very, very bad. Tight trigger wave. Momentum wave to the downside. VWAP to the downside. RSIs to the downside. This needs time to resolve. So yeah, with that being said, I am staying very, very careful. Quickly then on the 4-hour, here also the money flow is still very bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another little bit move to the downside. I really hope we're seeing something like this, a nice bullish divergence if we're taking out also the low on price, and then we can finally aim to the upside. If we are going lower one more time, I cannot believe it, but I had to check it twice before I drew it in, and that is that we have the yearly open at 42,409. Yearly open is 42,409, meaning if we're hitting that level, Bitcoin gave away everything it gained in 2024. So everything that we gained in 2024 is gone by hitting 42,409. Just as I expected some kind of a bounce here, I also really expect that we're seeing some price action at this level because not only do we have yearly open, we also have some smaller levels there. We had this trading range, therefore I also drew in the volume profile. I'm expecting a bounce maybe from these highs, from the point of control, whatever. So this whole box here is a major support, starting off from approximately 40,000 to 45,000. Would we lose that? Oof, man, then it's gonna look ugly because we have the liquidity here underneath. And then we have this trading range here, but I think actually once we are getting to that trading range, you're talking to me here about 25, 28,000, 30,000, depending where we're going to end. This is already full on bear market territory. So yeah, for me, this box right here is the last line in the sand for us still to stay bullish. I actually hope that we're going there because then you can just pick up some Bitcoin for cheap. But really this whole box from 40 to 45,000 is really the line in the sand. As of for now, we're trading at 55,000, far away from the 40,000 I just talked about. So I think the best thing that we could do right now is just to zoom in. We're going to look here at the 5 minutes, and the only thing that I'm really interested in is really the most upper side and downside of the area. I'm not so interested in trading where we are right now. So I have here a daily low, and I called it the SR flip, so support and resistance flip, and this could be a trade if we are able to get there. So this will be my first trading setup for a short, and then just to trade it to the downside, or at least the golden pocket if the high is, then the high should be somewhere here, of course, and then you will see that it's somewhere at 52,000. If we are going lower now, then you could also try to get into a long from the current golden pocket. These highs so far not so nice actually, because well, they're a little bit in the middle of nowhere, and you also have these double highs that just don't look all too good. But yeah, you of course have to trade what the chart gives you. So this is then right away the first long that you could trade, the golden pocket. So again, that's in approximately 50,000 if we get there now. I would be careful and place my stop locally, so not underneath here, because this range from the top to the bottom, you just already saw it, it is what is it, 13-14%. So then if you need to put your stop loss underneath the low here, then you're talking about 4 or 5% stop loss. I would never ever do that. So I would wait until price hits it, create some kind of a bottom, and then eventually go up. Then I would put my stop loss here underneath the low, and then you can have a much tighter stop loss and therefore also a way better risk to reward ratio. And then the first target would be somewhere here around the high. So long number one is a long from the golden pocket. Long number two would be to take out this low if we get it, and then short number two could be taking out these highs, but actually I like to see the high that I just drew in earlier, and that is really to hit that support and resistance flip, because it's just a little bit nicer. Because yeah, if else you're getting something like this and you're leaving this whole area here just untapped, and also you can see it was a quick move, so quick move down means quick move up, so it's very weird if you then do not fill that complete area. But of course it could happen. I will not hesitate to trade it. Other than that, I am staying very careful. I am not interested in longing somewhere here or here or here. I really want to see a very clear move or reaction at one of the levels that I just pointed out. Also, mind you, and therefore I'm now drawing in the volume profile, is that if we can see a dump again, so let's say we are going lower from here and we're leaving these highs untouched, not only is it a good reason later on to go higher because there is liquidity, but also it means that it is very weak. So if we are losing then a point of control, actually this could be a short, but it is very risky. But of course what it then says that the most traded volume is also lost. So I think once you start losing that point of control of this area, 54,000, then yeah, it's very likely that you're going to take out these lows here again at 49,000. Not something to be scared of, because the price dumped down a lot yesterday. So the chance of filling the daily wick, and let me take all of this out so that you guys can see what I mean. There you go. And I'm now quickly going to the daily, so I want to be sure that you know what I mean. So to filling this daily wick that you see here on such a day, those chances are more than 90% to eventually go lower, trade here for a couple days, maybe taking it out, and then eventually to go higher. So don't be surprised. Don't think, oh, now we're going to zero. Maybe the low is almost in. Maybe we just need to SFP it one more time and then we are going higher. Of course, we could also just trend higher from here, absolutely, but don't be afraid, because we had this big move yesterday. More often than not, you'll see that these big daily wicks get filled during other trading sessions. Matter of fact, let me quickly see if I can find an example somewhere here on the chart. I'm just doing this somewhere on the fly. Well, here you have it a little bit. I remember that during the bear market this was also a very big trading wick on the daily. You can see 8% wick, and it took some time, but eventually you are filling that trading wick here at the bottom by the trading here, and then eventually you break through. So yeah, don't be afraid by that. It can also take quite some time. Here it took a very long time, but even if it would take 1 or 2 weeks before we eventually completely filling that wick and taking it out, I'm all cool with that. After all, it's the month of August, still pretty weak month. Usually those are the worst results of the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if we also see some weak price action. Again, I am keeping it very local. For now, it has no use to look at very big swing trades. I'm just taking it from level to level, trade to trade, all the way from the top or the current top. Those are my two shorts. Golden pocket here is the first long that I will take if we are going down from here, and if else the low from the absolute bottom, the long from the absolute bottom, and that is it. 2 longs, 2 shorts. Hope that was useful, guys. If it was, and if you like the content, please do me a favor by liking, subscribing, clicking on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think it's useful. And also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Both those links you find in the description. See you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.